Slendytubbies is a name you probably haven't heard in when was Slender popular? 2014, so about a decade. But we're watching a video on it because fuck it, we ball. Why not? Link will be in the description as per. Oh, we're even doing old memes.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure everyone who clicked on this video knows about Slender Man, right? There was
Yep.
this game that everyone played, then there was this game that no one played, and then there
Was
was
it
a
shit?
movie that
No one watched.
Let's just forget that ever happened. The original
Also, it came out at a really bad time.
Slender game instantly took over the internet when it was released in 2012. It
Thank
became
you,
a giant hit.
PewDiePie.
Now, even though fan games and
Markiplier.
clones were nothing new, even at the time, this was really the first time a game became so popular that so many other games were
Fan
created,
games.
attempting to mimic its gameplay.
Yeah. Bro, old PewDiePie was peak.
So many, in fact, that by the time Slender the Arrival released, a greatly
It was already
expanded game
made.
about Slender Man, made by the same creators as the 8 Pages, which released only 9 months after the original game, was pretty much despised before it even released.
Why are you gay?
That's right, in only 9 months' time, there were so many Slender Man
What,
fan games and
Steve, the 8
clones
Pages?
that
What is
people were
this?
completely sick of Slender Man altogether.
Do me a favor, please. Get
Most
out
of them were just Slenderman in
And
a
much like
different
Slender
location.
Man himself, no one really seems to talk about these games anymore. There is, however, one exception to this rule. A
Slendytubbies!
game made by ZeoWorks that started out as a simple clone, but eventually became its own full-fledged series with its own lore and managed to create an entire fan base of its own. That game being Slendytubbies. What is it with the internet always turning completely innocent things into something twisted?
Actually, fun fact. Hold on. Hold on.
Slendytubbies. What is it with the internet always turning completely innocent?
This image, well, actually, it's not this image in particular, but My Little Pony, I think it was called Luna's Adventure, technically speaking, was the first ever EXE game. It was released before. What's generally considered to be the first one? I forgot. Is it Sonic or Mario? That EXE. But yeah, this was the first ever EXE game to be released, or popular EXE game, I should say, and it spooked so many people that the website it was posted on, it was called I think it was Equestrian Daily, had to shut down. Or sorry, they issued a warning, didn't shut down. They issued a warning, like, don't click any links from this site because it's probably a virus. Because so many people got spooked, because, you know, it was the first EXE game, and they didn't know what to expect. So many people got spooked that they thought it was a virus. So,
Things into something twisted. Somehow makes
just a
perfect
fun little
sense
fact
too,
there.
because this show is freaky as hell.
whoa!
I've never actually played any of the games though.
What?
Same.
So today I'm gonna play through all 3
Never played
mainline
a Slender
Slendytubby
either.
games and see if they're as good as people say they are. And yes, I said mainline, because there are spin-offs and side modes as well, such as Slendytubbies 2D and a multiplayer mode that turns the game into a first-person
What?
shooter. But I'll only stick to
Bandicam.
the 3 mainline games for now, as
Fuck
this
me.
video is already long enough as
Man,
it
that
is.
www.bandicam is iconic.
Let's go.
Right into the
Slendytubbies
news.
1. On the main menu, I was greeted with the most cursed music I've heard in a while, and Tinky Winky asserting his dominance by T-posing to a fire.
He's actually
Teletubby
A-posing, but okay.
I clicked single player.
His hands should be straight
oh
out.
my god, Poe.
T-pose.
That is just horrible. Alright, well, let's try not to get too hung up about this.
Scary,
We
scary, or
get to choose between
scariest.
3 modes. Scary,
Oh,
which
come
takes
on, bro,
place
you
during
have
the
to
day.
pick scariest.
Scarier, which takes place at dusk. And scariest, which, you guessed it, takes place at night. As the toughest kid on the block, I have a reputation to uphold.
Chose
So
scariest.
naturally, I picked the scariest option.
Yeah.
Coming for you, Poe. Hang in there. So we spawn in, and damn, that is the spookiest
The
spawn
10
I have ever
Teletubby
seen.
custard.
So as the name Slendytubbies would suggest, it plays pretty much exactly like Slender the 8 Pages. But instead of pages, you collect custards. And instead of Slender Man chasing you, it's Tinky Winky. The first thing I noticed while playing is that you can actually see
See the skybox.
Oh my god, beautiful.
That's
grid. In
interesting.
fact, you can see it on the main menu as well.
The game is broken!
So for the most part, this map is just a huge generic forest with not much in it.
Yeah,
except
they
for
were
those
Unity
weird
asset
showerhead
clips.
looking things from the show and a few landmarks. The first thing I came across was this beach on which I found Lala.
Oh no! I've actually never watched Teletubbies, I don't know any of their names.
She looked pretty lifeless to me, but I flashed my light and poked her a couple times just to make sure. So after confirming that she was indeed deceased, I did what any sensible person would do.
You stepped on
I took
her.
a good look around to make sure no one was there, jumped on her head, teabagged the absolute shit out of her,
Yep.
took her custard, and bounced. Every now and then these images pop up on screen with the
Oh, no.
distortion sound, which are basically just cheap little jump scares. After some more walking around, I came across the Tubby Dome. I took the slide in and found my boy Nunu doing the sickest donuts
Why
I've
is he
ever
stoned?
seen. The first thing that came to my mind was, can I ride him? And much to my surprise, you could. Best game ever, 10 out of 10. Eventually, however, Nunu had enough of my shit and yeeted me across the room. You also might have noticed Dipsy, who seems to have had a nasty fall and hit his head on the slide. Very unfortunate.
To be fair, the slide
I
just
saw this
kind of
open
ends
window and
abruptly.
wondered if I could jump through it. I could, but by doing so, I landed out
Oh,
of
you
bounds.
clipped through it.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
So what now? Wait, is that...
Oh my goodness!
Can I help you with anything?
Can he
Can
get
I
you?
do
You're clipped
something
into
for
the
you,
map.
or...
What do you want?
Tinky Winky seemed to have lost his manners, as he was not responding to anything I asked him. So I eventually decided to make a run for it. He then magically seemed to have gotten his voice back, but instead of just answering my questions, he started to scream at me.
Yeah,
which
that's
startled
pretty
me.
normal
So
for
I
these
jumped
games.
back in the window. He then followed me back into the house, where he proceeded to just stand there.
He's just standing there.
Menacingly!
I wanted to see if I could slip by him if I stayed in the middle of these two walls, but then...
Are you dead?
Yeah, this game is broken as
8
hell.
player?
I
Is
still
it
hadn't found
multiplayer?
Bo,
Oh, it is.
however,
Fuck.
and I was determined to find him. So I started a new game and went looking for her. So I searched and I searched
I didn't think
and I
Slendy
searched,
Tubby's vault
and then,
games to be multiplayer.
woo, there she is. Unfortunately, though, she was way beyond saving. So, yeah, you don't mind if I take this, right? Well, it was nice hanging out. See ya. I couldn't even take 10 steps until Stinky Winky came running towards me from the darkness of the night. Oh my god, this scream, man. You know what? Just catch me. Thank you. Although the concept for this game is pretty funny, it is kind of hard to take seriously and not something you'd play
Well, it's
for
not
more
supposed to
than
be
2 or
taken
3
seriously,
times.
I think.
There's just not that much to it. The map is way too big, and although there are a few landmarks, half of the time
Dude,
you're just
bro,
walking
did
through
you
a
beat the
forest
game though,
wondering
bro?
where the hell you are.
Did you get all 10
I suppose Slender had
bustards?
this too, but I believe this map is way bigger than Slender's ever was. It did get a sequel, however, and I gotta say, it's a massive improvement. Slendytubbies 2. Okay, right off the bat, the first thing I have to give this game points for is the main menu music. Listen to this absolute banger.
Sounds like it's out of Alice, like the Madness Returns. Oh, that game is so good.
Slendy Tubbies, uno, dos. Tryna get that custard, tryna get that apple sauce.
So this
Damn.
game has 10 maps and 8 different monsters, and you now have a night vision camera. How about we do a little challenge
10
with
maps?
this game?
Wait, what?
I'm going to play all maps and see how many monsters I can break on my first playthrough. 8 different
What is that
monsters,
necromorph
1 point
looking
for every
motherfucker?
monster I can break. Alright,
Let's do this.
starting off with the first one, Teletubby's Secret Lair. This map takes place in a sewer, and has
14
these weird
custards.
gray Teletubbies roaming around. It didn't take me long before I stumbled upon one, and he had this really annoying high-pitched scream.
Oh no!
Shut the fuck up.
I decided to make
Oh
a run
my
for
God.
it, but eventually walked into a dead end.
Bro,
After
he's
having come
using
to
all
terms
the
with
old
the fact
stuff.
that this was certain doom, I turned around and faced the monster head on. But after he reached me, he did this.
Is he
Yo,
giving you
what the fuck
head?
are you
What's
doing?
happening?
It's just a prank, bro. You're on camera. Oh,
Oh,
I don't know.
you were
Does this
dying.
count as a break? Let's just count it as half a break. Next map, Teletubby's Secret Center. This map takes place in some sort of factory, and in it, Dipsy from the first game has come back to life to try and kill you with a chainsaw.
I'll
So I checked
turn it back 10 seconds. But you'll say 15.
in, collected a couple of custards, walked upstairs, and could already hear his chainsaw running. So
Ooh.
I had to act fast.
Is
instead of
that
a
the
way to break him.
fucking Half-Life? I want to say 1. A Half-Life 1 metal sound.
I must break you.
It didn't take me long before I noticed these steel beams between the pillars. I was pretty sure Dipsy wouldn't be able to walk on them, so I checked if they had collision, and they did. And with that, my master
If they
plan
have
was
collision,
finished.
I'm sure you can walk on them.
All that was left to do was get Dipsy to chase me. So I went back to the stairs, and as soon as I heard his chainsaw revving, I made a run for it. I ran to my spot, and for a moment I actually thought he could walk on the beam as he went right up to it, but then he just stopped.
Oh,
Stupid.
I could actually get him to walk in circles by walking to the front and the back of the beam over and over. My plan was a success. That's one monster broken. I offered myself up to him and moved on to the next map, Teletubby Lake. Once again, the monster is Dipsy, except this time he's some sort of lizard-like creature.
whoa.
I suppose because it
Is
takes
he a
place in a
Mirelurk
lake.
king? What the fuck?
This map has a rain effect so bad it makes that of the GTA Definitive Edition look good, and that's really saying something.
What
I
the
searched far
fuck?
and I searched wide, but for the longest time I couldn't
I'm
find
so
Dipsy.
happy I don't
I
play
could hear
GTA,
him
man.
growling though. After about 5 minutes, I eventually did find him. But he didn't seem all that interested in me. He just walked right up to me and then just stood there.
Seems a bit confused.
Even when I walked right into him and he did attack me, it didn't do anything.
Bruh.
I think his model was just too tall and his attacks don't actually hit me. I had to literally jump into his mouth in order to die. The first version of Dipsy didn't even have a brain anymore, so he could be forgiven for acting a little dumb. But for this one, there's no excuse.
You stupid.
Anyway, I'd say that counts as another break.
Bro, what the fuck are these
Next up,
images?
Satellite Station. The enemy on this
Oh,
map
is it a
is Poe.
necromorph?
I spawned in, walked for a bit, and it didn't take long before the perfect opportunity presented itself. I checked to see if I could
He
jump on
looks
these
like,
boxes, which I could, and as luck would
a
have it,
draw kill.
there was Poe.
How convenient is that?
I got him to chase me, jumped on these boxes, and lo and behold, he stopped dead in his tracks.
Are you dumb?
Like, look, hold on. Let me see here. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's Freddy. No, I'm misremembering. I thought one of them had like necromorph spikes. But I don't think they do. No. I guess I was thinking of Chica because of her like hands.
Mate.
Wait a minute. That clicking. That color. Does Poe perhaps know?
So don't say the way.
That way?
You go the way.
Oh.
Anyway, that's another monster broke. The next map is called Teletubby Land. There's a day and a night version. It's a remake of the original map, except it looks a lot more abandoned and overgrown than it did in the first game. Oh, and the sky grid is gone too.
Nice.
This time, however, you play as Logan Paul, going into the forest with his camera.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
I love that so much.
We found a dead body.
Guys.
Yo, what the fuck is this? Tinky Winky has been pumping iron since
He's a
the
tank.
last game. Jesus. This is one of those guys that can't even scratch their own backs. Look at him. He can't even hit me because his attacks are too slow.
You're too slow.
If you just keep walking, you basically can't die. However, I was convinced that this roided out gorilla couldn't fit his ass down the slide. So I made my way over to the dome, jumped into the hole where the slide is, and yep, I was right. I purposely had to jump into a swing
I
in
get
order
it, it's their second game. But come on.
to die, so I'm definitely counting this one as another break. The next map is the exact same, just Teletubby Land again, except during the day, so I'm skipping that one. So we move on to Teletubby Outskirts. The monster here is Lala. The first thing I noticed was that this
he
map
just
has a lot
lanky?
of pillars and platforms, some of which you can only reach by jumping, which the monsters can't do. So right away I knew this was going to be an easy one.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
The hardest part was to actually find Lala. I looked around for a few minutes and eventually found her camping at one of the custards.
Bro, these throwbacks.
I gotta say, the twitching does look pretty unnerving. So I got her to follow me.
How did
made
she
my
look
way
he's
back to the
scratching his
platform,
ass?
and I was expecting to have to put in a lot more effort, as the plan was to jump on this platform. But no, I jumped on this one, and that was enough. Which is kind of funny because that's literally one of the custard locations. So that means the monster can't even get to you in one of the locations you're supposed to go in order to complete the level.
You're a fucking idiot.
But anyway, just because something is easy doesn't mean it
Why is there a fence? Okay.
doesn't count.
Just
So that's another point for the break counter. I tried to jump on top of her head, but I'm not Mario, so that didn't do shit. So I died and moved on to the next map, Teletubby Maze. It's literally just a maze. I don't know how many monsters there are in this map, but there are multiple. Poe was definitely one of them as I could hear the clicking. At one point I walked into a dead end and could start to hear Poe and the Great Teletubby from the first map start screaming at me from the other side of the wall. I tried to keep going, but not long after I walked into another dead end and got trapped by Poe. We seem to know the layout of this maze way better than I did, and I got killed. We're almost at the end now. The second to last map is Tubbycraft.
Borderlands 4 has reached 200,000 plus peak concurrent Steam players on launch.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not kidding. It's a Minecraft themed map, and Tinky Winky has a Minecraft skin.
I'm playing Minecraft! Oh,
Right away, I
that
saw the
clip.
structure and instantly knew what to do. I got MC Square to follow me, climbed to the top of this tree thing, and voila. Another one for the counter. And with that, we've come to the last map of this game, which is just the original Slendytubbies map again, with the same Tinky Winky from the first game. Even the sky grid is back, so it instantly felt like coming home after a long trip. So I did
They
the
actually
exact same
just
thing as I
recycled the
did in
map.
the first game. I made my way over to the dome, jumped into the window, but the only thing I forgot was to get Tinky Winky to follow me first. But I could see him standing in the distance with my camera, looking all lost and confused, so I'm gonna count it as another break. And with that said, we've played every map in Slendytubbies 2, finishing it off with a solid 7.5 out of 8 monsters broken on my first playthrough
Alright.
of each map. I think this game is definitely an improvement over the first game. There's a lot more map variety, and as long as you're not actively trying to break the game like I was doing for this video, I can promise you, you'll definitely get startled a few times.
Hello.
The monsters genuinely look terrifying as well, although I can't give it full credit for that, as most of the models were ripped from other games.
Free real estate.
Poe is a necromorph from Dead Space. Lake Dipsy is a regenerator from Resident Evil 4. Lala is a monster from an indie game called Donald, a horror story. And roided out Tinky Winky
He's
is
just
the
the
tank
tank,
from Left
yeah.
4 Dead 2. The map selection may seem a little bit random at first too. Like what the fuck does a secret layer or a satellite station have to do with Teletubbies? Well, in comes Slendytubbies 3.
Alternate universes. What the fuck? What?
No
Oh.
longer just a simple Slender clone, this game has an hour-long campaign with lore that ties all these maps and monsters
Well,
together.
sad thing is,
It has
probably plays better
dialogue
than Corpse
options,
Party.
puzzles, boss fights, and even multiple endings. So let's jump right into it. The game starts off with a bit of text, explaining that
It was
Teletubbies are
good.
created by machines that were made by the unknown. One of these
Ooh.
Teletubbies, the Guardian Teletubby, who we play as,
What
was
god?
specifically created to monitor a group of 4 test subjects. Those subjects being Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, and Poe. They also lived with an artificial intelligence machine named Nunu. We then get to play as Poe, who's standing on a beach when Nunu comes up from behind, asking
What
what
the
we're doing
fuck?
and instructing us to go back inside and eat with the others. So that's what we do, but not before absolutely kicking the shit out of Lala's ball, launching it into oblivion for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Dick!
We turn on the power and try to make custard, but the machine's broken. Our task now is to fix it while the rest just stands around doing nothing.
This is not right. This is not cool.
So that's what we do. We fix the machine, and guess what we get as a thank you for all that labor? We get to make custard for everyone.
Oh, hell no!
I swear to God, Dipsy has no shame. I just fixed this entire machine, and he's like, could you please make a custard and hand it out to each of us? We're hungry. How about you get up your
What
ass
was
and
that
do it
theory
yourself, you
with the
lazy
fucking
bastard?
custard again?
Fortunately
I
for
remember there was
Dipsy,
some
however,
weird
Poe is way nicer
theory
than
about
I
it.
am. So we hand everyone their custard and get to insult Lala for some reason.
Yeah,
Poe
fuck
is
you,
fucking
Lala.
Ruthless. What the hell?
Emotional damage.
Everyone eats their custard, and then
Approximately 10 hours later.
everyone is lying in bed when all of a sudden, Tinky Winky gets out and breaks the custard machine.
I can't believe you've done this.
We ask him what he's doing, but he doesn't respond and leaves. Now we're presented with our first choice.
Based.
We get to choose between either waking up the others or going after Tinky Winky ourselves.
No, don't do it!
This choice has a big impact later on in the story, but I'll go over that when we get there. We choose to wake up the others and take Lala with us. Dipsy unsurprisingly decided to stay in bed in case Tinky Winky came back. Lazy piece of shit.
Where is your honor, dirtbag? You are an absolute disgrace!
So we go out and look for Tinky Winky together, but eventually decide to split up. We can't find him, however, so decide to regroup with Lala at the beach. But
I
upon
like how it's just
arriving,
a bowl
we
of
find Tinky
pink,
Winky
it's not
standing
even-
next to
there's anything
Lala's
in it.
corpse with her eyes scratched out.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He turns around and then...
This is so
We run back to
reminiscent
the
of
house, only
something,
to
but I
find
don't
Dipsy
remember
with his
what.
head chopped off. Tinky Winky catches up to us, and we're then put into a QuickTime event. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
QTEs?
Yo, what the hell? This guy just jumped like 10 feet in the air and did a front flip. What the fuck? Also, this part is goofy as hell, look at it. Tinky Winky is standing in our way, and we just casually walk around him while he does absolutely nothing. He just stands there.
He's
We've
aura
been trying
farming.
to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty.
Eventually, though, Tinky Winky catches us, and we then enter Chapter 1, where we now take control of our main character, the Guardian Teletubby, who saw all this happen on his monitors and is determined to find out what was wrong with these custards. By the way, if you talk to Dipsy at the beginning of the game, he mentions that he lost his hat a long time ago, but the Guardian Teletubby is wearing it. Did
Why
he
is it
steal
cow
Dipsy's hat? And if so,
leather,
why?
I guess?
Anyway, we tried to contact the satellite
almost said
station
cow
for help,
stained,
but
but
get
that's
no
not the word.
response. Our plan now is to collect all of the infected
I'm gonna
custards
pick
and
up my
travel to the
legs 'cause I'm a
satellite
lazy
station for
fuck.
help. So we solve a little puzzle, grab our night vision camera, and then
This
suddenly
is
the
like-
power cuts out.
shit,
And we see
this
these
is
crazy
weirdly like,
zombie-like Teletubbies walking through the halls. We make it to the exit
Silent
stairs
Hill.
without them spotting us, and come out from under this rock. This is really the Guardian Teletubby.
No, this is Patrick.
We're now in the original Slendytubbies map, and we have to collect all the custards
Oh my
without
god.
Tinky Winky
He
catching
has
us.
infinite batteries.
Look at this hoodie. I'm coming for that booty.
Poe's body is still here, but Lala's and Dipsy's are now gone. After collecting all the custards, we run into Tinky Winky on the beach, who then consumes the last custards and turns it to the tank monster.
Okay.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
We get the
Boy,
choice to
that's
escape
a
through the
thick
mountains
ass
or the
boy,
cave. I chose to
damn.
go through the mountains, but I'll let you know what happens if you choose the cave as well. So we continue our journey through the snowy
Wait,
mountains
does
until
actual
we're
your
attacked by a
choices
Yeti
actually
Teletubby,
make a
who
difference?
knocks us the fuck out.
I'd like to fuck up you.
But he doesn't actually eat us right away, but instead instructs his robot slave to make
What?
sure we don't leave. Why does this Yeti monster have a robot slave, you may ask yourself? Well, the slave was supposed to kill the Teletubby who turned into the Yeti monster before he escaped the mainland. But after finding this Teletubby and realizing he had turned into a monster, he figured he had two choices: to serve or to be destroyed. He chose to serve and
Oh.
is now tasked with preventing us
Okay,
from
that
leaving.
actually makes sense.
Except he doesn't. When we leave, he doesn't even try to stop us at all. All he does is tell us that if we leave, he'll have to inform his master, who will then hunt down and kill us.
Okay.
We leave anyway, and not long after, the monster finds out we're gone and comes after us. We then have to play this little mini game that, although not very difficult, is pretty creative, which I can appreciate. The monster will yell, and you have to listen where the yelling is coming from and run into the opposite direction. We then come up on a gate which is locked by a chain. We find a pipe in a nearby cabin in the woods, break the chain, and are now ready to move on. We're now before picking our night vision camera back up, which now has a crack in it because of the fall from when we were knocked out. We then make our way through the gate and move on to the outskirts. If you chose to go through the cave instead of the mountains, you would have had to find your way through the caves, which are pretty much a maze.
Why does a fucking Slendytubbies game? Well, why do the choices in this actually have more of an impact than like Fallout 4?
Throughout the cave, you can find these pages that hint at the fact that there might be something in there with you. The further you get into the cave, the more that the text on these pages
Wrong.
slowly becomes
Ooh.
incoherent and eventually turns into complete gibberish and weird drawings. You also start finding these pages torn up and ripped apart. If you were to actually read all of them and put them in order, it would tell a story. The monster that's now in the caves with you used to be friends with the Yeti Teletubby from the mountains before they
Okay.
turned into monsters. The Yeti Teletubby was the first one that turned after both of them had eaten a custard, and the Cave Teletubby went into the caves to hide from his infected friend. He started writing a journal, but because he had also consumed the custard, he too slowly started turning into a monster. Hence why the pages slowly start turning into incoherent gibberish the further you go into the cave. If you go far enough, you'll eventually encounter him and see the monster that he's become.
Prepared to die.
You then have to do another QuickTime event in order to escape, and if you do that successfully, you escape the cave and get to move on to the outskirts that way. Walking into the outskirts, you can already see the satellite station in the distance. You walk into these ruins and find more custards that you have to collect. This is also where the choice of going after Tinky Winky alone or taking Lala with you back at the mainland takes effect. If you chose to go look for Tinky Winky alone, Tinky
Lala's
Winky would
here.
have only killed Dipsy and Poe, and Lala would have actually managed to escape, and you'd now find her sitting here next to a fire. She demands to know who you are,
Wait a minute. Who are you?
and you have the choice between either staying silent or confessing to her who you are and what your job was. If you choose to confess to her, you'll learn that every time one of the main 4 Teletubbies tried to leave the mainlands, their memories of what they had seen outside of it would be erased, and they'd be dragged back in. Although
Holy
rightfully
shit,
angry,
man.
regardless of whether you tell her the truth
This whole
or not,
video was
she
just
eventually
one big,
joins you
like,
when you go
throwback.
look for the remaining custards together.
Lala will
While
remember
collecting
that.
custards, Lala tells us that she's not feeling so good.
I don't feel so good.
This is because at the beginning of the game,
She ate a
Lala too had
custard.
eaten a custard. After collecting all the custards, Lala sits down as she can no longer walk due to the pain from the custard she's consumed. Lala is about to turn into a monster. You have 2 choices before you move on to the
You
satellite
murk
station.
her.
Put her out of her misery, or leave her and let her turn into a monster. If you leave her, this happens.
She kills you.
And if you choose to put her out of her misery, you hit her on the head with a big rock. Either of these choices will kind of make you feel like a dick, but putting her out of her misery is probably the better option. If, however, you chose to wake up the others back at the mainland, which is what we did, and take them with you to look for Tinky Winky, and by them, I mean only Lala, as Dipsy is a lazy piece of shit, when you arrive at the outskirts, Lala will now already be a monster because Tinky Winky killed her on the beach.
You're ugly, you're disgusting, I'm gonna kill you, give me $200.
And because Tinky Winky scratched her eyes out, she's now blind and will only know where you are if you make too much noise. So we now have to collect the custards as quiet as possible while Lala is roaming around. After doing this successfully, she will be blocking the path to the satellite station. You have to throw a rock at these pillars, which tricks Lala into attacking them. This will cause the pillars to fall on top of her, leaving her trapped.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb.
We then get the same choice of either leaving her or putting her out of her misery. Me personally, I chose to bash her fucking head in with a rock. And after that, we finally get to move on to the satellite station, the final chapter of the game. We solve a little lever puzzle in order to open the doors,
I fucking hate
and we
these
walk
puzzles.
in. This base is supposed to be full of other Teletubbies.
I hate
but
puzzles.
when
I
we
don't
walk
like
in,
thinking.
There's nothing.
I like
except
being
for
fed
a long,
answers.
dark, quiet hallway. In case that wasn't enough indication that something ain't right, not long after
yo.
entering, we stumble upon a dead body with a note next to it that says, "Get out before it's too late." Ooh, the suspense is building. So we keep walking, jump over a laser, find some more bodies, and eventually we run into a beaten up Teletubby named Ron. I find it really funny that the 4 main Teletubbies from the show have the most ridiculous names ever, like Tinky Winky and Lala, and then this asshole is just named Ron. Anyway, he tells us that a green headless monster carrying a chainsaw came into the station and started killing everyone. Ooh, who could that be?
No
He
idea,
instructs
bro.
us to go into the secret center
You
and
tell
contact
me.
the military. What, the Teletubbies have a military? Okay then. In order to access the secret center, we need a key card, which can be found on the other side of this door. But of course, it's locked, so we have to crawl through the fence to get to the other side. Once we come out of the
I was
fence, we
waiting
can
for
hear
some
Ron
5
getting
Nights at
killed
Freddy's
with a
reference.
chainsaw. While making our way over to the keycard, the Guardian Teletubby starts getting hallucinations of the Teletubbies before they turn into monsters. We grab the keycard, make our way back through the fence, and when we come out, we see that Dipsy turned Ron into a sussy bata. We proceed to make our way to the secret center, but on our way there, we get another hallucination. This time of Dipsy.
Oh no!
Except plot twist, it's not a hallucination. It's the real Dipsy, and he is absolutely pissed at the Guardian for stealing his hat, so this is personal to him. We
But
run
how does
away
he
as
know
Dipsy chases
where
us
he
and
is?
make
He
our way
doesn't have
back
a
to the
head, so he
beginning
can't
where the
even
laser
hear.
was. We jump over it, but Dipsy doesn't and gets blown up. His chainsaw somehow still works though, so we pick it up.
And just equip it on your back
We
because,
make our way
of
into
course.
the secret center, and there we find the mastermind behind this entire operation. Who could possibly be so evil, so heartless, to be able to turn these poor, innocent Teletubbies into
Is it going to be the Silent Hill dog reference?
these mindless
I feel like-
abominations? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, it's Nunu.
Oh.
I should have known. You suck, Nunu. Get it? Because he's a vacuum? I'm sorry. He reveals to us that he infected the main custard supply with a virus that turns Teletubbies into undead monsters that mutate over time. He did this because he thinks Teletubbies are weak because they are limited by their emotions. And by turning them into undead, or newborns as he calls them, he's removing these limits. He also tells us that he's hacked into the Central Artificial Intelligence mainframe and controls all machines now. He says it is now time for us to die and then leaves. How does this dude even go up the stairs? Look at him. How?
How, Sway?
We are then left with this showerhead looking thing again, who then... Oh my god, what is this?
He has
the
a
thing
mech.
turns into a fucking transformer and we're then put into a boss fight. I thought this was a horror game. What the hell happened? It's got everything you
Well,
expect
yeah, horror games have boss fights, bro.
from a boss fight. You can attack, block, sprint, roll, and you even have a stamina bar. You
Oh,
can
you're
also
playing Dark
regain
Souls.
health by picking up these green orbs that randomly drop on the ground. There's also a rock song playing during the fight with lyrics and everything that I unfortunately can't play because I believe it's copyrighted. As out of place as this boss fight is, I have to admit, I honestly had a lot of fun fighting this thing. After defeating it, we contact the military and make our way outside, where we once again confront Nunu. He tells us he's impressed that we managed to defeat the announcer, but that there's no way of stopping him.
Are you sure about that?
As he also infected the machines that create the Teletubbies with the virus, and that there's an army of newborns flooding the lands as we speak. We are then presented with two options. We can either join Nunu, or we can tell him to go suck it. That's another vacuum joke. There are actually 4 endings to this game. I'm gonna go over all of them, but let me go over the true ending first. After rejecting Nunu's offer to join him, he summons Po, who is now also a newborn, and you are once again put into a boss fight. And a long one at that, as this one has 3 phases. The first phase is just Po in her normal form, but at around 2/3 of her health left, she turns into the monster with blades that we saw in Slendy Tubbies 2.
Why is there so much health?
In her last phase, which starts at around 1/3 of her health left, she turns into this crab scorpion looking monster.
Bro, Dark Souls bosses don't even have 3 phases.
Over to Nunu and cut him in half.
Usually.
By the way, this chainsaw has to be made out of fucking vibranium or something. Dipsy went on a killing spree with it. It survived an explosion. We cut up a robot completely made out of metal. We fought 3 different forms of Po. We cut a vacuum in half, which was also made out of metal. And this thing is still running. A normal chainsaw gets damaged by hitting the dirt. What the hell? Anyway, after taking out Nunu, the military arrives and we are greeted by Sergeant Miles. We try to explain the situation to him, but as we're doing that, one of his soldiers tells us to come and take a look at something he saw. We walk up a hill, and then...
It's full of infected. Yep. I mean, they're just walking in a straight line. I'm sure you could just, like, bomb it. We must fight.
And that's the true ending of the Slendy Tubbies 3 campaign. Let me go over the other endings real quick. The second ending happens when you die to Po during the boss fight. Shortly after Po kills you, the military still arrives, but all they find is the Guardian's body, as Nunu and Po are already gone. As they try to figure out what happened, an army of newborns makes their way over the hill and attacks the military. They try to fight off the newborns, but are quickly overrun. The third ending happens when you choose to join Nunu. He takes you to the custard factory and instructs you to jump into the main infected custard supply. If we do, we turn into a newborn.
No?
If you join Nunu but refuse to jump into the custard supply, the fourth ending happens. Po will cut off your legs and drop you in anyway, turning you into a crawler. And with that, we've completed.
I mean, I would assume if you jump into the custard, you would get like a bigger buff than if you just ate it.
I find it pretty awesome that this...
Drink it? I suppose you technically drink custard, don't you? Because it's more of a sauce. You don't really eat it.
Simple Slender parody that I doubt was made to really be taken seriously. Managed to evolve itself into a completely different series with different gameplay styles and its own lore. Like I said at the beginning of this video, there's more to the Slendy Tubbies franchise than just these 3 games. There's the 2D version of Slendy Tubbies. Slendy Tubbies 3 has multiplayer with multiple modes, such as a horde survival mode and an infected mode where players get to play as the monsters. There's also a series of short videos that take place immediately after the ending of Slendy Tubbies 3, but that series was never finished. Recently, Slendy Tubbies Worlds was released, which ZeoWorks said will be the last installment in the franchise. It's a multiplayer-oriented game where you get to create your own custom character, except it has a much more innocent art style from the rest of the game. Overall, I think Slendy Tubbies is a pretty awesome
didn't get hit with like a corpse party blood drive.
Of course, not all games are masterpieces, but it's amazing how a series made by one guy that started out as nothing more than a simple Slender clone managed to grow into a unique experience with its own dedicated fanbase, with people still playing the games to this day, 11 years after the original Slendy Tubbies came out. It even managed to outlive Slender Man himself, and with Slendy Tubbies Worlds out now, I'm sure people will keep playing the games for at least a few more years. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in a future video. But for now, I'm out. Later, people.
Alright, that was there's a sequel video. Okay, that'll be our next slop. Then I have my 3 daily slops. Interesting. I did not know that Slendy Tubbies had this much lore. Didn't even know it had any lore, to be honest. Moral of the story: Teletubbies are evil.